welcome, guys, to another episode of the It's Real Me podcast with your boys. Rob's not here today because he has work. He won't be home till 9 o'clock, so it's gonna be just us two out of the three amigos.
Yes.
Raph, thank you for stopping in and help and having us carry the load here. You know, it's
Yeah, exactly. So right now,
and
ladies
this
and
this
gentlemen,
is this is the first time I'm like leading the show for quite some time. I haven't led this show since I did it myself
yep.
for a while. But
I
yeah,
mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I just wanted to say it. Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to It's Real to Me. This is a
yep.
podcast with 100% attitude. So,
Oh yeah, we bring in the attitude, man. We don't play around. We do not play around, people.
there you
Um,
go.
but
There you go.
also
There you go.
but also not only is it just another episode, we are at 51 episodes on
51.
YouTube. 51 episodes. We did a little bit more with Anchor, but we don't talk about those episodes. Those episodes are cringy. I don't like those episodes. Those are acts from my life. But but yeah, 51 episodes of this show, and my buddy is now a third host. We've
Yep.
evolved into what we are now. Sick ass logo right there. Sick ass logo. But let's get into the topics for today. The first topic is that Lacey Evans is now out of the company, WWE. She's out of WWE due to her contract expiring. There was hints that she was leaving the company. She had changed her name on Twitter. Her Twitter handle is now, as of yesterday, her Twitter handle is Limitless Macy. Macy being her government name. So she is now Limitless Macy on the indie scene. Wherever she goes, she's gonna be Limitless Macy. But she is out of the company.
Exactly.
My take is on it is that she had too much heat. She had too much heat on her. She had to go. Fans don't like her. I personally don't like her for what she had said and quickly deleted. Where she mocked people with autism, which I did not take a liking to that because my buddy, you all know Rob. Rob, he is autistic. He's on that spectrum. He has made it known to you guys with that too. That I don't play with that. I have someone who is close to me who's a part of this as we are, Raph. And me and Rob have been best friends for 13 years. So that when that happened, that pissed me off. And it pissed Rob off too. But I don't like her. Good riddance. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. Again, we're bringing the attitude. But yeah, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. But yeah, it was just one of those incidents where like I don't care. I don't care if she got fired. I don't care if she left because I don't like her. But what is your take on it, Raph?
Yep. And according for our
Raph, I think you're.
information right now, so right now for the topic,
Yeah, I thought you were muted for like half of that.
mentioned about it. Yeah.
Is your mic?
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
hold on, man. Is your mic, dude? Is your mic okay? Because you keep fading in and out.
I think I'm out of it. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you're fading in and out, man.
And then, okay. All right, gotcha.
There you go. It's in better quality. So finish your thought before you got rudely interrupted by your own microphone.
Yeah, I know, because I had to look up for the microphone. Okay, so, but I just heard about it between Lacey Evans because she's now officially no longer part of the WWE because according for that report, she ended like the past week on August 15th. So the reason why she looked for it because she was in NXT and she was called up for the main roster where she had a massive push at first. But she got the crazy about she got weekly by Nets and she's zero push and this is how the crazy that is happening. But yeah, I agree with the assessment of Tyler because we don't like it at the Lacey Evans. But her gimmick was sort of like repackaged a little with the military film that just started slots later, and it only resulted like in some squash wins. I mean, the people thought it was like, oh shoot,
Yeah,
that's
that was on
weird.
WWE. I don't think that was more so on Lacey. I don't think that was more so on Lacey though. I think your camera and that quality is lagging a little bit, but that's all right. You got it back. It's back, I think. But
Yeah,
to finish to combat that thought there, I think the whole Sergeant Slaughter thing that was more so like WWE was trying to repackage her as a carbon copy. That was on them, not her. Not her. That's in my opinion. I don't see why Sergeant Slaughter bashed her for it per se. Um, but he should have just bashed the company, to be honest. So I'm citing her on that front. But as far as like the autism thing and her quickly deleting the post after her bashing autistic people, I I don't think that she's a good person because of that. Yeah, she may be a good person like to her family. Like she has a kid, she has two kids. She has a husband who loves her and stuff like that. Yeah, she's got a good family, and yeah, she may be a good person despite that. But you don't need to do that. You don't need to post shit like that on social media or anywhere.
exactly.
And it's like a reason why it's why Brian Kendrick got fired because he said shit that he shouldn't have said on Twitter and on Instagram. In this case, Lacey Evans, this was on Instagram. This was on her story. But yeah, it's one of those instances again where I just do not care
Yeah.
about Lacey.
Yeah, but I agree with that because I mean, the first I had noticed it about Lacey Evans because she was portrayed like a soldier, but I thought that the gimmick was
Yo, what's
too.
up, Lady Sky? How you doing? How you doing, Lady Sky?
Hello, ladies,
Uh,
guys. That was like
but
too much.
yeah, it was just bad, man. It was just a bad situation, and she lost everybody's respect.
Yep. I mean, when it comes to that, because she was sort of thought about it, but I guarantee that remember the time that Lacey Evans because I'm gonna check off here and go check it out because there's like a stipulation because she was an NXT roster and she got the biggest push at first. But even
Yeah,
since Vincent McMahon stepped back from the head of creative, Evans Television has been like the decrease in everything, and we was repackaged when even in the final area of SmackDown on June. But he had to go. He took part for the Mae Young Classic of 2017. But I mean, if her last profile fight was in the early 2020 when she turned like babyface and she battled with Bailey for the SmackDown Women's title. I mean, if there's been like a really disaster about the character of Lacey Evans.
see, they did something like very, very, very well with her in the beginning. That Southern Belle character really fit her. It really did wonders for her. I liked that character. I liked it. That's when I like in the beginning. I did like Lacey Evans before she did what she did and her true colors came out. But the Southern Belle character was one of my favorite characters from Lacey, and and it was a great character. But the thing is, when they repackaged her to this soldier, which was more so her, in a sense, because she was a soldier in real life in years past. But they had her baby face for a while, telling the sob story, and then randomly in the middle of it, they turn her heel for no reason. That was my problem with that booking. It's like they created this baby face story for her that first half, and then right in the middle of it, she turns heel for no reason with that same character, and and it wasn't even that long. It was like a month into the story, she turns heel. Like I honestly do not get that in the slightest,
Hmm.
and it like it's irritating. It is very very irritating how they booked her, but then again. after that whole thing with the autism bashing on Instagram and her Instagram story, we kind of knew the writing was on the wall. She was going to be a jobber after that. We knew, oh, your career is screwed.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and if it wasn't, and if they resigned her, they'd probably still keep her as a jobber, and they probably would have fired her themselves. But yeah, Lacey Evans is out of the company. Good riddance. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. And bye. Um.
Yep.
Edge will reportedly wrestle his last match on SmackDown this Friday. And let me tell you something, man. In a way, it's like in the back of my mind, I'm not ready. It's a piece of my childhood that's like gone. It's gonna be going. So it will sting a bit tomorrow when he does retire. But he said it himself that, his contract expires after tomorrow, so he's going to have this match and then his career is done. He will not resign. His career is over. He has said it himself today that his career will be over because he has chosen not to resign with the company.
Exactly.
So Edge, man, thank you. Thank you for a hell of a career. I know for 9 years you were robbed of that career, but you came back stronger than ever. You had another badass run, even though it was a really short run. It was a 3-year run. It was a badass run. It was really, really cool. You started you had that run, trying to face Roman, trying to dethrone that tribal chief in his saga. You went and created the Judgment Day that's still going hot, even despite you turning face and not being in the group. Your one tag team match with Ray and Dom, that was a really touching tag match. Other matches too, like reforming that feud with Randy Orton, really really good feud, And when they said it was the greatest match ever, they were not lying. That was a really freaking good match. At Backlash that year, 2020. So again, thank you for one hell of a career. You gave me a lot of memories. Some I want to forget, like the sex celebrations. I want to forget those.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that celebration going on there.
Yeah.
We tried to.
We don't know. We don't want to know what was going on there, man. But we want to forget about it. We want to forget about it. But that's one of the moments I want to forget. But there's like a lot of good moments there, like TLC 1, 2, and 3. Your world title runs. You cashing in Money in the Bank, New Year's Day, 2006. Also that world title run when you beat Taker. When you beat Taker, man, like I think it was was it SummerSlam? Yeah, it was SummerSlam, Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that was in SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, Hell in a Cell when you beat Taker for the belt, and that awesome run from 07 to 09 on SmackDown. That was great. Also that Vicky Guerrero feud when you basically turned psycho on her.
Oh,
that was a great storyline for you, man. So thank you for those memories. And also thank you for one hell of a career. You deserve it. You're a Hall of Famer. And again, thank you. Thank you for my childhood, raising me up, even though half of the stuff you did I shouldn't have saw.
Yeah, and that case of Edge last match with Sheamus, I mean, people will say that because they're not ready for this. Because for that moment, I really know that Edge was a really game changer at the early 2000s.
Oh,
and of course,
sure.
But they would see like at the debut in the 90s, like in the early 90s, like in 1992 with his debut. And of course, we never forget about the pose between Edge and Christian. I mean, we can never forget about the ladder match between Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys. And of course, people never forget about his return for this injury at Royal Rumble. I think that was in 2010 or 2011. That was in 2010. If I don't,
His return at Royal Rumble?
yeah, his return for the Royal Rumble.
Oh, that was 2020.
Yeah, but we're talking about
After 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 9 years, he returned at the Rumble.
yeah, but we're talking about of January 31 of 2010, where he was returned by injury.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad. see, this is the best part of having Raph. He knows his shit.
Yeah, I know, but I really thought that Edge is gonna be like really, really special because of if you imagine it about because if you saw the whole 2000 with the WWE, not only you just saw Stone Cold Steve Austin, not only you just saw Dwayne Johnson as known as The Rock, not only you just saw John Cena with his ruthless attitude and also for the Doctor of Thugonomics, but also we just see like the rated R superstar Edge. He became like one of the greatest game challenge, and people never forget about his with Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder with La Familia. That was back in 2008.
Yeah, this is when he cheated on Vicky and turned psycho in storyline.
Yep, and people never forget about that.
Yeah, and he feuded with that entire family.
Yes.
Him and Chavo were going at it. Him and Vicky were going at it. The whole family was going at it because of Edge cheating on Vicky with Alicia Fox, debuting Alicia Fox.
Yeah, and that's why the Triple H that came out for the video, just like, oh my God. And of course, do you people remember about Edge destroying Alberto Del Rio? That was in 2011 in WrestleMania.
Alberto Del Rio had no chance against this dude. My God.
They have no chance at all.
It was just like spirits over. What the hell? But anyway,
but this first Sunday because I thought this was gonna be like a great idea because the finishing movements that was the finisher, and Michael Cole didn't say that Edge he knew as gonna he made the audience wait, but he was gonna do better the go for the beat. But also that was the rated R superstar, and he became one of the best wrestling villains in WWE history. But of course, he was like one of the greatest at the story. So I just wanted to say to Edge, thank you for all the memories. Thank you for all the brain that are childhood for the 2000, 2010. I mean, of Edge, you did a great job over the last 2 decades, and props to you. And of course, I had to take off my head with it because you're a freaking legend, Edge, and we will never forget about
you. Yeah, for sure. You hit the nail on the head right there. He's a freaking legend.
Yep.
You hit it right on the head there, man. You know, with the enunciation, you were like freaking champion or freaking legend. Yeah, but moving on though, ESPN the ESPN's owner has stated that he is open to a WWE TV deal. So ESPN wants WWE television, but it depends on the 2026 deal or 2024 deal, where it's either 2024 or 2026 when the TV deal is up for both Fox and USA for WWE content. Would it work? Would it work for a lot of people? Probably not, because you can get the ESPN app, but you need a cable provider. You can get with the Fox app. All you have to do is just sign in, boom, you're in. Or with the USA app, you have to have a cable provider too. But some of the time you can just sign in, boom, boom, you're in. But with ESPN, what's that going to do? Then you have to get another app because you have to get ESPN Plus for the pay-per-views, which I honestly don't. I'm not open to that. I'm not open to another TV deal for ESPN. So that means another app has to be opened up for WWE content, which is ESPN Plus. I'd rather Raw stay on USA because you can, do things with Peacock to have WWE content there That's my only gripe is the streaming services right after that TV deal is up. So that's why I'm not open to that. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, but about for the ESPN to go up for the WWE because right now the current media had the
I
deals
know.
because
Yep.
the NBC Universal and NetSeer and the company has reacted how could it secure about much possible for the Nets broadcast contracts for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
Look,
So
man.
in the past, the network had really concerns about airing WWE script sports entertainment alongside with non-predetermined competitions that are the bread and butter. But look at it say for the president of the content of within the concern about being able to schedule Raw or SmackDown in their cable channel, they're giving like the assistant contracts with all the sports and leagues. But that's still live streaming and pay-per-view. But look at it with the Saints. It continued to be like I guess from glass half perspective, but I said that our companies had to change a couple years ago, so this is not the breaking news. And I believe that the point of view towards like a potential distribution outlet for a day events. I mean, that was early of it at the summer that mentioned that FX and Disney had their own products like a Raw and SmackDown, but added a lens for about that. So remember, all with the council because right now they just renovated the broadcast contract for like 5 years. I mean, the episode is very interesting about they have a deal with NBC on the stream Peacock for their library, and right now that they call for live events, it doesn't really expire until 2026. But they're in all nerves that the NBA had a really partner to sell the UFC to the pay per view, but also they had to go for it. But I know for a fact because it could be like a winding up with the same media deals, right? I mean, that's really confusing at all. That really confusing at all because if you had a cable TV and you need to go to watch all the wrestling, it's like boom, because right now they had to go for it. Because remember, folks, the broadcasting content is very important. It goes to like TV schedule or TV shows for every week. I mean, for example, Raw is being broadcasting for a Spike TV before Paramount Channel, and then it'll go for a USA Network, and then SmackDown goes to SFI before it go to USA Network before to the go for Fox. I mean, that's going to happen like this one because it's how only have to go to the TV contracts with various leagues. I mean, we'll find that ESPN is going to be like broadcasting of the WWE. It doesn't make any sense anymore because it's all about for the fans and the viewers because it's all about the business at all because there's something that really works at all.
Yeah, that's my whole thing with ESPN and stuff like that. Like, would it help that? Would it help the network? Yeah, but then again, no cable network has really benefited from anything because you have the cord cutters. You
Exactly.
have people like me. I don't necessarily have cable TV. So cord cutters. And it doesn't really benefit unless you have Hulu and all this other stuff. But yeah, that's the problem that I have is like the streaming services. Peacock, if they go to ESPN, Peacock is going to take a hit. So I wouldn't think NBC is going to want ESPN to get their hands all over WWE content. They would want to keep, Raw or SmackDown on USA Network. Fox, they have a little bit more leeway because they don't have a streaming app. They don't have one.
But I haven't.
They don't have like a Fox Plus or yes, they have an app, but that's if you want to watch the TV live feed. That's the only thing. Like if you don't have an antenna, you can just download the Fox app. But the Fox app is only there for live feed purposes.
Yeah,
A lot of their shows end up on Hulu or Netflix, anything like that. Like CBS, it's like kind of the same deal, but kind of not because they have their own original programming on their app, Paramount Plus. They have an app. NBC
they
has
have
an
an
app.
app and they have live broadcasting sports. So
Yeah, they also have live broadcasts, but it's not just live sports. It has CBS, MTV, all the other stuff. and that's the problem that I have with that deal too, because like Fox is screwed if they lose SmackDown to ESPN because they don't have an expansive library of these original shows. They don't have an app. Peacock, they have an app. So they have an expansive library of shows that, yes, may keep people around, but WWE fans only watch Peacock for WWE. I said this on a past episode, which is why. And that was talking about AEW's $50 plan that they have for BR. But speaking of AEW, to move out of that topic here, Darby Allin has expressed his displeasure of the booking of the TNT title in recent years. He says, and I quote, "I'm going to be honest when I say this. To me, the TNT Championship used to be I can't even read tonight. To me, the TNT Championship used to mean something. And within the last year, I felt like it's lost all its value. I remember people that used to hold it, guys like Cody Rhodes and guys like Brody Lee and myself. Back then, it meant something. Now it's like a hot potato." And I absolutely agree with that quote. I agree with what he said. It's like a hot potato now. After the runs of Cody Rhodes, Brody Lee, and Darby Allin, the first run, Samoa Joe had it for a little bit, then Wardlow had it, then it was back to Samoa Joe, then it was Darby Allin for like a week, Samoa Joe for like a week, Wardlow beats Samoa Joe after like a month at a pay-per-view, and then Wardlow wins it at the pay-per-view. A week later, he loses it to Powerhouse. Powerhouse Hobbs has it for a couple of days. He loses it, I think, at Rampage. And then Wardlow loses it again to Samoa Joe. Or no, he loses it to he had a pretty lengthy run there, but he lost it to Christian Cage, and now it's become, or he actually lost to Luchasaurus. Christian Cage has been calling himself champ. So now it's kind of has like this confusing time where it's like, who's the TNT champion? Because no one knows. Some people think it's Christian Cage. Some people think it's Luchasaurus. For me personally, I think it's Christian Cage. If he's the one holding the belt, oh, I'm the champ, I'm this, I'm that. So I'm thinking, oh, he won the belt for Christian. So that's what I think. But really, it's supposed to be Luchasaurus with the belt. So it's in this kind of confusing time where like you had the hot potato part of it, and now you have like who the hell's the champion? Because no one knows.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong because I mean the title for the TNT Championship. I mean he feels like it's been like directionless since Cody Rhodes left, and actually before Cody, he was like at the starting like they haven't really sense because they had no idea what it anymore. So I just wanted to agree with that point because what is the biggest accomplishment? Because the undisputed WWE title or be Roman Reigns for it. I mean, it's not about just the title because I remember that, but because all the time record with the sloppy run created by creating and managing because that TNT that means that real nothing because there be like it being like sites to the Reigns for since November last year, but a part of it because of that because I mean the TNT Championship. I mean that has no value because they should be call it the AEW Television Championship. I mean
exactly. Any prestige that Cody Rhodes, Brody Lee, and Darby Allin in his first run had with that belt, that's all but gone now. There is no prestige to that belt. None. And you hit the nail on the head there. There's no prestige. There's no value. It's pretty much a title. It's pretty much a prop title at this point. I don't see a value to that. And usually, early on, it's like, oh, if you win the TNT title, you get hoisted. It's supposed to be a title where if you win the TNT title, the company thinks highly of you, and you're probably in the near future going to get hoisted to the AEW World Title shot or the AEW World Title picture. So
yeah, but
that's exactly how I feel about it too. Is the fact that it has no value, and Darby said it himself. He says, "I feel like it lost all its value," and it has. It has. and it started right after, or actually it started with Scorpio Sky's run.
Yeah, exactly.
But that reign wasn't that great because he was given a character that just did not work for him. You know, this cocky heel who had a group behind him, and it did not work for him. And that whole run was really bad because you had the American Top Team and that annoying faction playing a part in that, and no one liked it. No one liked it. And then after that, he lost it to, I think it was back to Darby. Darby lost it to Samoa Joe. I think it was Samoa, or no, I forgot how the order of the reigns went. But after that, it was like this guy won it one week, the next guy won it the next week, and it gets annoying. It gets very, very annoying. And it kind of reminded me of the Raw Women's title with Charlotte and Sasha Banks back in like 2016, 2017, where it was just back and forth, week in, week out. And it got really annoying after a while. So it was just like pretty bad. But and AEW does the same thing, back and forth, back and forth. This time we're starting to get a substantial run with the belt from a competitor, but now it's competitors because you have two champions. Luchasaurus is the de facto champion because he won it, but then Christian Cage is calling himself the champion. It's like it's a messy storyline now. It's a mess of a story going on with the TNT title. So I just don't like it. I don't like the way it's been booked. Like Darby, I absolutely agree with Darby. I hope he wins, and he's in a feud with Luchasaurus and Christian Cage for the belt. So I hope at all and he wins the belt and rectifies that entire situation. Bring some prestige back to that belt.
Yeah, I agree. But also there's so many other championships that waters down for all the championship. But I think the booking of that championship has been like really awful because I can't even remember who's gonna be like the champ. Because they never give TNT title stories anymore. Remember Samoa Joe and Harlow had the weakest story ever, and Christian and Harlow has weak too. I mean, they would have like great stories, not the weakest one.
Yeah, they gave him weak stories, and the thing is, and the weakest one I will have to say, which was a laughable storyline, was the feud between Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs. That lasted 1 week. That lasted 1 week. Friggin' Wardlow wins it at Revolution. I think the next week on Dynamite, he loses the belt. Storyline's over. What? Like, are you kidding me? You built this up. You have Powerhouse win the belt, and then Wardlow beats him? Or no, Wardlow wins the belt. Or no, you know what it was? There was a storyline, but a little bit after that, but it was a weak freaking storyline. Because then Wardlow wins the belt back. Yeah, and it was a really bad storyline. It was really bad, really poorly written, really poorly booked. I did not like that. I did not like that at all. That left a sour taste in my mouth. And that leads to your point. After that, piss poor booking, piss poor stories for the TNT title. And now I can't even follow the TNT storyline because it's such a mess of a storyline. I can't buy into it. I can't.
Yep, I agree.
Anyway, moving on. The last topic of today's show. We have a shorter episode for you guys. But the last topic is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre deathmatch garnered $100,000 from the video game sponsor. AEW used that money for the Maui Food Drive Fund, which is awesome of AEW to do. But let me talk to you guys about something here. All right. I don't know if there's any AEW diehards out there that like that match. that liked the outcome of that match. But if you did, quit lying to yourself because, and also don't be hypocritical because look what happened when they were promoting that one movie with Batista in it, or WWE promoted that one movie with Batista in it that was a zombie movie for Netflix. Remember the zombie lumberjack match? Yeah, you people hated that. You people hated that. I hated that. I thought it was stupid. All right, I'm like, what the hell is this shit? And it was like zombie lumberjacks, and then you had The Miz getting eaten in the middle of the ring, eaten by zombies in the middle of the ring. That was stupid. And then now you have, this match. This match was a car crash. We expected a car crash. Bodies flying everywhere. Blood being spilled. Literally blood being spilled. And it was a car crash. I thought the match was fine. Was it great? Was it a great wrestling match? No. Well, was it a great hardcore fight? Yes. I will say that. But then you bring out Leatherface to distract Jeff Hardy so that Jeff Jarrett can get the win? Leatherface? Yes, I get he's the main horror villain from that franchise. I get that. But you didn't need to go with the hokiness. That reminded me of RoboCop in WCW. It reminded a lot of people of that shit. It reminded me of the zombie match of, Extreme Rules 2021. That was terrible. This is a problem with these wrestling companies, is that they over-promote shit. They over-promote TV shows. They over-promote movies. They over-promote video games. And I remember when they were promoting Street Fighter, all they did was have their wrestlers dressed up as Street Fighter characters fighting in Street Fighter stuff, which was fine. I thought that was cool. That was a good promotion. Good promotional value for that sponsor. Great idea for that. But bringing out a horror movie character to a match, no. Absolutely freaking not. And I did not like the zombie thing either. Oh. I hated both. Both were bad. That was atrocious. What I saw last night on Dynamite with that match was atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. And I don't know, and also what confused me, why is Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett in a hardcore death match? And I wouldn't even call that a death match. That was more so a hardcore match. And also, why were there like 15 things going on at one freaking time? You had Isaiah Cassidy and Matt Hardy beating up the rest of Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh. Yeah. You have Karen Jarrett trying to help Jeff Jarrett, and she gets blood spilled all over her. And then now you have her yelling and screaming half that time. And then now you have Leatherface coming out, scare her off. Jeff Hardy gets freaking, distracted. He gets pinned for the 1, 2, 3. Why was there 15 things going on? That didn't need to happen like that. And yeah, people will be like, oh, you don't know how to have fun with it. Here's the thing, though. It wasn't fun. It was dumb. Yeah, to me, that was the dumbest way to book a show or book a match. And I hated it. And yes, did AEW do the right thing by, using that money for a good cause? Yes. I don't even know why the sponsors liked that match, to be honest. I don't know why they liked it, because I did not. Let's see. What's up, Ron?
Hello, Ron.
But what was your thoughts on it?
It's just Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, people were proud of it a bit, but that Texas is because of. I gotta tell you something, because when it comes to match, between like an automatic match with every wrestling company, they're getting saturated with the products. they're getting saturated with products. I mean, remember with Royal Rumble with the pitch black between LA Knight versus Bray Wyatt of the Royal Rumble, and then for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre between Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett. What can I say about it? They should be burying it all.
Yeah, now let me piggyback off of that. Now I'm starting to like the pitch black match even more. Because that was more of like a standard wrestling match. Yeah, it was a little bit hokey with the neon lights and the dark stuff. Yes, it was a little bit hokey. But it wasn't just overpoweringly hokey. You still had a decent match on there. It was decent. I will give it that. It was slightly hokey. It did put me off a bit. I hated the neon and stuff. It felt like I was watching like 80s mall shit. They're fighting in an 80s mall. But it wasn't as hokey as like the zombie fight, Extreme Rules, and then and this Texas Chainsaw Massacre with what freaking Leatherface coming out. It was not as hokey as that. So I kind of took the pitch black match for granted, to be honest. But finish your thought, man.
Yeah, but I just what I thought about it because they just bring for because I know for a fact because they're gonna promote it like the video game inspired by the horror movie on the 70s, which is totally a classic from the horror movie. Even when I just watched it for the tweet that I said, I thought that, and look at the set of Dustin Rhodes to say, I thought the Texas Chainsaw match was entertaining as F. But people saying it was the worst match ever because they have the honor. Because remember when Dustin had at the back of the movie 18-wheeler with a cage around because Kino the Road, it was like, is that what they would do about it? But I think that the only dislike about it because that I was getting involved for this. The Kino the Road was really disappointed with whether to say that one, but what could I care about this? They just saw how the match is gonna be like ups and downs about it. That could be really terrible, but they seem like the potential opportunities. But they just saw for the matchup between the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they want to see like an improvement of money. They would just see like an improvement like money.
But then again, I can't really say that it was just for money. Oh, we just wanted the money from the sponsor. They were going to give that money away anyway if they got it or not, because they gave it to the Maui Food Bank. So now if the zombie match, oh for sure WWE gave that money to themselves, of course. But and this isn't Team WWE, Team AEW. I'm talking about the differences here because there was no bad shit happened when the that match happened. There was like no like bad shit and no like charity to go through. So I felt like they didn't have an incentive to do anything, which that's okay. But yes, and AEW did right by giving the money to charity. But the thing is that both situations were hoked. That it was bad. It was very, very bad. I at first I made a joke saying, "Oh, Leatherface is AEW bound." Because I was joking. That was a joke. But I can't sit there and just let this, slide because it's AEW. I can't.
Yep.
I can't do it because it was bad. It was very, very bad. The match was, which is 15 things going on. You couldn't keep up with it. And it was just hokey. Again, it was hokey. But yeah. Luckily, the show last night overall was pretty damn good. I will give AEW that. Luckily, the show itself was good. But that match, piss poor. Don't do it again. I don't care if there's money involved. That you want to help promote a video game. Hell, I was going to get that video game anyway. It was coming on Game Pass. I was getting that game anyway. So,
Yep.
I don't really think you can promote a video game. You can have like Leatherface backstage, like fake terrorizing people as a joke. Like have like little mini segments here and there as like a haha funny. But to have it in a match, I did not like it.
Hmm.
Anyway, let me see if there's any more news. I don't have a lot written down on my notes. So I'm gonna try to prolong the show the best of my ability here.
All right. So I'm going to check him out for like the rest of the news and about it. All right.
So because of that, though, because of that,
Mm-hmm.
AEW Dynamite's viewership did rise,
Yep.
and the demographic also rose. The key demographic rose as well for that. So Wednesday night they drew 874,000 viewers. This is up from their 846,000. I feel like AEW kind of dipped a little bit still because they did usually garner a million viewers a night. Now they kind of dipped a bit. They drew in an 0.29 rating in the demographic,
Yep.
and they also drew a 0.32. Or actually, that was last week's episode, 0.29. They rose to 0.32 rating in the 18 to 49
Yeah. And they
demographic.
went. Yeah, they went to A47 viewers to A74 viewers for the last week, which is on August 9th.
Now there's still work to be done. AEW, you gotta really garner a lot of traction here because you used to garner a million viewers a night. Um,
I mean, yep. They gotta work.
so no, get out of here. I don't want to. All right. Okay, so RVD reveals that he got WWE's permission themselves to wrestle in AEW. Because remember, he was signed to. He wasn't really signed, but he was in their Hall of Fame and he was in their good graces, and he didn't want to, anger them. So he had asked WWE to go to Dynamite. But yeah, he only wrestled two other times to this year. AW was able to secure, as you already know, his ECW theme. But he will not sign with AEW. Uh, some fans were saying that he did WWE wrong by appearing on AEW, which honestly they need to stop. They need to stop with this whole. And I've said this countless times on countless streams that this feud WWE versus AEW thing needs to just die down because we all just love professional wrestling,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
this is how it should be. Not like he did WWE wrong by signing with or wrestling for AEW. Oh, they did AEW wrong for wrestling for WWE. You don't do that because it's completely pointless.
I mean, you got right. You
And
got
and,
right.
and, and by and by AEW being featured on a WWE documentary, and by them allowing RVD to go to AEW, I feel like they have more of a working relationship without actually working with each other than just being, beefs. There's beefing with each other. But
Uh-huh.
anyway, that's gonna be our show for. Well, actually, let me give you your thoughts on the whole RVD getting permission.
Oh, for the RTV getting permission, I mean, that could be like really shocking at all because I'm gonna check for anything like this one because I mean, I just saw for the comeback of NEW. I mean, this could be like a really shocking, and they give it like a special permission to wrestle. I mean, even because of the fanatics of the color, anything could happen like this one. But they just thought of this, this is gonna be like the Hall of Famer of WWE, so we don't get other permission. But even though they had the clue how long it's gonna be like the dressing in that one, but it seems that they had to go for permission because they have like a special permission. I mean, like anything could happen, like the positive attitude for the fans that they're really connected about with them because they just see like that screaming about RBD and they all sing it about it, but they also very really genius about it. But I mean, the wrestler, the company, and the fans they have to go for it. But they like go for anything like this one. I mean, they have their own permission because let me just say for the Twitter say some fans are saying that I did WWE run by a parent AEW because I wonder if they would eat the asset that I rebuilt that I have permission to do it. So, or this is just a move that to put out to the meaningless BS that had gone through their mouth so they had to figure it out. But they already thought it because it's not very good after the cameras. But just see under the but when he saw the dressing room, they're very nice about it. It's not like they're really stressful about the production like back in the days of the WWE because right now they had to change it around here. They seems like very happy about it. They seems like very about it because it really changed it all.
Yeah, it's like that's what I'm trying to get. Like it's like WWE and AEW. It seems like they don't really have beef with each other like these fans think they do. And yeah, you have some slight bashing from both sides, but it's nothing like super serious. And some of the times, most of the time, it does piss me off when AEW bashes WWE or WWE bashes AEW because I want all of wrestling to thrive. I don't just want one
Yes.
company to thrive. I want all the companies to thrive. I want AEW to thrive. I want Impact to thrive. I want New Japan to thrive. Shimmer, Evolve, the women's companies, the women's companies in Japan, the indie market, obviously. I want everyone in wrestling to succeed. Every company to succeed because I love wrestling. The people love wrestling. Some like one company over the other. If you like one company over the other, that's fine. But don't bash the other company and don't bash their fans. That's my only gripe about all that because it's just it's pointless. It's pointless. It's ridiculous. There's no war. There's no Wednesday Night War. Was there in the beginning? Yeah, because they were going head to head with NXT in the beginning. But is there a Wednesday Night War now? Is there a Wednesday Night War now? No, because Tuesdays as NXT, Wednesdays is Dynamite. We literally have wrestling every damn day of the week except for Sundays. Except for if it's a pay-per-view day. Then we have wrestling all week. But every single damn and honestly, we have wrestling every for I guess 6 days out of the week. 6 out of the 7 days.
Yeah.
We've got Monday Night Raw, we got NXT, we got Wednesday Night Dynamite, we got Impact on Thursdays. Fridays we got SmackDown and Rampage. Which barely anybody watches Rampage. Saturday we've got Collision now. Sunday's the occasional pay-per-view. So we have 6 out of 7 weeks we have wrestling. And then during pay-per-view weeks, we have 7 out of 7 days out of the week with wrestling. So we are spoiled. So there's no need for this tribalism, for this camp shit. No need for that. And I've said this week in, week out. I will say this till the freaking cows come home. No need for that tribalism nonsense. So quit it, people. Quit it. Enjoy wrestling. Enjoy that we have this expansive library of wrestling every week. Enjoy the fact that we have wrestling 6 out of the 7 days of the week. That's awesome. And I love it. as a wrestling fan growing up, I only had wrestling, what, 3 to 4 days out of the week? Now we have it 6 out of 7 days. So, any final thoughts? We'll give our final thoughts. So,
Yep, we're going for the final thoughts. And I just wanted to tell you that it's been like the whole week, but right now that we're just a passionate wrestling fans because we just deliver like every kind of opinion what happened with the TV shows of the pay-per-views because we just like a passionate wrestling fans and we don't give a f about what they think about it because we just love and enjoy all the wrestling shows because no matter
yep.
what happens right now because but if it comes to Raw or SmackDown or even like AEW Rampage, Dynamite or Collision, because we are passionate fans. Even we're just watching on TV or maybe like in any arena that we just got a book because right now I just get the book for a seat. And I've been blessed by it by going to like a several wrestling events for like a five for the since 5 years and I just went to 8 and this is gonna be like really excited because we just deliver all the passion about it, not only for the watch parties and reactions for the three amigos, but also the information and the opinion about the podcast is be real to me. I mean, it's gonna be like really good, really good.
Yeah, and man, let me tell you something. If I didn't fall in love with wrestling again in 2016, none of this would have happened. None of this would have been possible. It's for me podcast, um, and stuff like that. I probably would have been on the sports side of the spectrum there, on this channel probably because I again COVID boredom got to me in 2020, which is why all this was created. but but let's go back to that COVID era, that 2020 into 2021 era.
Oh yes.
We had nothing but wrestling at the time. Nothing but wrestling. Sports canceled. Couldn't go to the movies till maybe mid to late 2020. Even then, a lot of movies were released in like on streaming services. Couldn't go to the movies. Couldn't go out with your friends. Couldn't do any of that. All people had was wrestling. A lot of shows that were gonna get new seasons that year were put on hold, and all this other stuff. All we had was wrestling, and the only way to escape that harsh reality that we were in a pandemic was watching wrestling at the time for a lot of people. A lot of people wanted to escape that. A lot of people wanted to not think about all of that. They wanted to escape, and wrestling was there for all of us. Wrestling was there, and again, it was like all the companies were on. Like Impact was still doing shows. The only company that really defunct itself was Ring of Honor, but Ring of Honor wasn't doing good financially anyway to keep going. You had shows like Impact Wrestling still going with no fans. WWE was still going with no fans. AEW used the damn wrestlers as fans. So and then you had New Japan were kind of were in that limbo where first half of 2020 they weren't doing shows, and then later half of 2020 they started doing the no fan thing. So New Japan was going. A lot of these companies were going. The only ones that weren't really going, I think, was like indie markets because they didn't have any fans. They couldn't garner any fans. They don't really have the finances like a WWE or an AEW or an Impact to keep going. They have to have the fans. So they were there until fans got back. But that's the thing, man. We had wrestling. Baseball was canceled. Baseball didn't start till July of that year because they had a 60-game season. Basketball was postponed till I would say late June into July. Football was more so unaffected by that era. but hockey was, pushed. They kind of like axed the season and then they went right to the playoffs. So hockey was done for a little bit. We didn't have sports at that time. We didn't have sports. All we had was wrestling. Yeah. Yeah, all we had. Sorry, that was my mom. Shout out my mom. She's awesome, big supporter. but yeah, it was like all we had was wrestling, and wrestling saved us from that era of COVID and seeing like 10,000 people were dying off because of this disease, this pandemic, and it was like all that harsh reality just washed away when we started watching wrestling again. That reality just gone. So wrestling saved us. So this is why I'm saying to you guys, stop with the tribalism nonsense, because wrestling is we all know wrestling is a form of an escape for most of us, if not all of us. I go through like again, and you probably have a lot of situations where you wanted to escape, and the only way you could escape was watch wrestling. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. Yep. I mean, you got it perfect. You got the right. You got it the right. And of course, because I've been since watch wrestling since I was like 7 years old. I mean, and it became like a part of DNA. I mean, I was really enjoying about the sports for like a long time, and I had experience with all that one. But it really changed a lot. But right now, what I will start doing like content creating in 2021 back there in the pandemic era. I mean, it could be like a game change, but then again, it started with a whole new chapter, and then I'm still here providing.
So you mean to tell me COVID got you too with the boredom?
Yeah.
Got me too, bro. But
yeah, exactly.
but that boredom made us love what we're doing now. It made us love it.
Yeah.
We garnered a lot of attention from people, like on the sports and wrestling side of our spectrum. And you're part of this group too. You're part of this channel now too. So it's basically all three of our channels, basically, since we were on our shows. But I did not expect after 2 years, because I hopped on like midway through when Rob was at like 300, 400, probably 500. I'm not sure what the numbers were then, but I hopped in fairly late. But as soon as we put this show on here, we started rising. I didn't expect us to get 1,000, over 1,200 people that actually like the content, that actually support us in that sense. And now we garnered a lot of attention from people that we opened up our merch store. I forgot the site name, but yeah, we have a merch store. You can go to my Facebook. Tyler Michael Coleman. It's there on my feed. Just scroll and you'll find it.
Yep.
But we have our own merch store now. We have sponsors, and it's great. It is absolutely amazing what we did here.
Yes.
And if my love of pro wrestling did not, come back the way that it did, because it was like I started watching, and I'm gonna tell you my story now. You told me your story. I'm gonna tell my story. I know you guys heard it, but I'm gonna reiterate my story. I started watching wrestling when I was 4. When I was 4 years old, and I watched it up till. I'm gonna give you the gist of it. I'm gonna give you the whole sob story. You can go to a different stream for that. But I started watching when I was 4. Up to maybe when I was 13, 14. I found out it wasn't real, yada, 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 song and dance. I'm like, this crap isn't cool anymore because it's not real, right? It's not cool. It's what I thought. My teenage brain thought. That's what every teenage brain thinks with wrestling. Or a lot of people think now too.
Exactly.
But from 2012 to 2016, I wasn't watching wrestling. I tried in 2015. I dabbled a little bit. I saw an episode where Seth Rollins broke John Cena's nose in 2016. I did see that. I tried. I really tried in 2015. 2016, by the summer of 2016, I was diving head first into there, in the deep end of it. And from 2016 to now, I am in love with wrestling again, like I was when I was a kid. Do I understand that it's not real, that it's scripted, and stuff like that? Yes, I do. But I look at it this way. It's just like any other TV show. The only difference is that they don't have stuntmen and women. They're their own stuntmen and women. So things can go wrong. People can still literally get hurt if they make the wrong move. But yes, I understand it's but yeah, again, I look at it as what it is. It's a TV show. But it's live and it has a live audience. It's basically a play with violence. It's basically what it is. It's a play with violence. And I love it. I love it now. And if it wasn't because of that, It's For Me podcast would not exist. Without you fans, it wouldn't continue. For sure it wouldn't continue. Without my buddies, Raph and Rob, this shit wouldn't be fun for me, because, I'm incredibly awkward when I'm talking by myself. I need another person to talk to, or I'm going to be awkward as hell talking, because I hate talking about it. Like, before we had the third host thing, Rob was like, I gotta work. Can you do the show yourself? Like, dude, I can't. So I had to cancel streams because of this. I'm too awkward by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it. But without you guys, this wouldn't continue. So thank you guys. But yeah, enough with the tribalism. Wrestling's there for us all. It ain't gonna go anywhere. Hasn't gone anywhere. And all these companies are trying to do is do their best to entertain. If you don't like what one company's doing, don't watch. Don't bash them for it. If you don't like one company, don't watch that company. If you don't like MLW, don't watch MLW. If you don't like AEW, don't watch that. If you don't like WWE, don't watch that. But if you love all wrestling, watch it all, man. You got so much to watch in a week. Back in like 02, 03, when I first started watching, I didn't have that. I didn't have that luxury. I had 3 shows? 4th being a pay-per-view? I didn't have that. And plus, when I was growing up, pay-per-views weren't as easily accessible. You had to pay $60 for pay-per-views back in the day. On cable or satellite. You had to do it there. I had to phone in. Hey, I'd like to buy this pay-per-view. Fork over $59.99. That's the exact price for the pay-per-view. Then you get to watch the pay-per-view. Nowadays, it's $10 a month. For certain. Not AEW. I'm talking, like WWE, you can pay like $10 a month. It's just a Peacock subscription.
Yeah.
$10 a month. Or actually $12 now. They upped it $2. But what is $2? Am I right? What is $2? But yeah, just love wrestling, people. Just love it all. Indulge in that, man. And women, I know there's skies of female, so women, men and women. I can't just say men. Men and women, ladies and gents, watch wrestling. You have an expansive library in your arsenal now. But with that said, let's get to our sponsors. SeatGeek. If you want to go to concerts, if you want to go to wrestling shows, if you want to go to anything that requires a ticket that you get at Ticketmaster or anything, you can save $20 off any purchases using the promo code capital letters. By the way, Philly Sports. If you want to go to concerts and stuff, use that promo code. The second sponsor is Just Gloves. If you want to use that, there's no promo code. Just go to justgloves.com, and you will. Any proceeds we put the link. We put links. Use I don't know if we put links here, but you go to our last stream or any of the channel. There should be a link there for Just Gloves. Use that link to buy baseball gloves or baseball bats, batting gloves.
All kinds of baseball.
It's all baseball stuff. So if you have a kid that plays baseball, whether it's t-ball, fall ball, fast pitch, any of that, or if you're a high schooler, you need a glove, or if you're a college student, or if you just want to get a glove just to go to the field and just play ball, and you're not a part of a team, use that site. And our third sponsor, W Energy Drinks. If you need a pick-me-up, if you're tired and you have a long work week, if you're playing video games and you want to stay up all night and you're like, hey, oh yeah, I'm going to beat this guy, stuff like that, you can use the promo code SportsAndWrestle10, capital letters, by the way, and no spaces. SportsAndWrestle10, 20% off purchases, and all the proceeds that go to us will go straight to charity. This week we're going to be doing the Maui Food Bank charity, so any proceeds will go to that. Also, the merch store. Let me go to the merch. Let me go to my phone here to actually give you the site.
Yep.
I'm bad at remembering things, guys, so bear with me. But the site is goddamn phone. The site is sportsandwrestling.myspread. I'm screwing this up. Excuse me. The site is sportsandwrestling.myspreadshop.com. If you want merch, we got shirts, we got hats, we got hoodies, we got cups, we got fanny packs for whatever reason, like it's $19.99. We got those too. Beer koozies, baby clothes. We also have that same line for the It's Your Only podcast on there. You'll be able to see it on that. So it's the sportsandwrestling.myspreadshop.com for the merch, and any of the proceeds that we do receive from any purchases there will go right to the Maui Food Bank this week. And any week, if you buy stuff from there, all proceeds will go to a charity. So not only will you be buying stuff, you will be giving back. So that's our sponsors. That's the merch shop. Thank you guys for stopping by. Please like and subscribe if you liked what you saw today. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Wait a minute. I'm forgetting one thing. My brain wasn't working again. Tomorrow.
All right. Tomorrow,
the SmackDown Watch Party live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Right here on the Sports and Wrestling Connection YouTube channel. And then Saturday, we've got Collision, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. Sunday we got bowling with the ladies, 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then Monday we got the Monday Night Raw, and the whole week starts over. Right here on the Sports and Wrestling Connection. So if you want to see all that stuff, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of that stuff. And yeah, with that said, I'm Tyler. That's my buddy Raph, El Capitan.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
All right. We will see you in the next time. And of course, thanks for watching. It's been another great episode of It's Real to Me. And we will see you tomorrow with the SmackDown Watch Party. So have a good night, folks.